Hello, my name is Sarah Simblet. I'm a botanical artist and we're here at Chelsea Flower Show in the Glasshouse Garden, and I'm going to show you where I start with drawing plants. So I'm using marker pens. They glide over the surface of the paper very swiftly and are perfect for making quick sketches to get down ideas. They've also got a square tip on them, which you can twist as you're working so that you can get broad lines and thin lines, and you can make it behave like a brush. And I actually find that the square tip is much more flexible in terms of what you can get out of it than working with a rounded tip pen. And then if you bring in other colours as well, I'm just scribbling with this, you can get a hint of darker tones, and then you might want to choose a third colour that's going to give you some brightness. By having all three in your hand together, it then means you can quickly jump between one and another when you're making the drawing. If you're drawing a very soft flower like a rose, it would be easy to be tempted to draw very precise shapes for all of the petals. But I'd be inclined to move your drawing hand in a way that captures the feeling of the rose rather than trying to pin down its precise shapes. Where the petals all connect in the middle of the flower is more important than getting their edges in the right place. So think about where that point is in the middle and then let your lines flow out from it. So what I'm doing with the second colour is trying to get a stronger, more confident sense of form and trying to find the surfaces of the petals, the richness of the colour, but also a feeling of shadows as well. I'm aware that I need more of a focal point in the middle, so we'll dare to put in just a little bit of that yellow so we've got an idea of where the stamens are. And you can see that I'm still making gestural marks that are suggesting the presence of the stamens rather than counting them and putting them down very, very precisely. I've got a feeling for where the middle of the rose is, and from that point I'm putting the stem in behind. I'm going to look at the connections on the plant, so where this stalk comes from and the direction that that leaf comes out. So you're looking at the angles between things. With any leaf, you want to think about where the middle vein is, and then you put the edge of the leaf blade on afterwards. With these marks, I'm trying to describe the direction of the surface of the leaf. So I think the surface flows this way, and the shape of it. So shape and direction, and also the way the light is on it, all in one. In the later stages with this drawing, I've used slightly looser marks just to place a few more leaves to break up all this white paper that I had in the background. Sometimes changing from broader lines to narrower lines or little tiny speckles can just give that feeling of the existence of the garden in the background and that feeling of depth and movement. Drawing plants is a sheer joy. You can step away from all of the worries of your life and immerse yourself in another world.